All right. Good day again to everybody. I hope and pray that all of us are all in good conditions uh, and praying that this situation that we are into will be put into proper uh, uh, sooner, so that we could go back normal. But as of now, let us exert all efforts we can so that to cope, especially you as a students in this new normal kind of education system that we are trying uh, for this semester and the coming semester. So for that, as a matter of continuation, uh, the topic that we will discuss is all about the basic criminal investigative procedures. Uh, Basic criminal investigative procedures. It is said that these are basic criminal investigative procedures because in whatever kind of criminal investigation that may happen in this country, uh, these procedures are present. No? So uh, these criminal investigative procedures uh, are imperative and inseparable procedures that all investigators must uphold. No? And basically, these procedures are very important. No? They are very significant in the success and, of criminal investigation. Such as without these procedures, then basically uh, the investigators will have no sufficient tool or means to uh, effect and materialize the so-called threefold aims of criminal investigation, such as arrest, for example. If there is no procedure in arrest, then basically, no, there will be abuses. If there is no procedure in arrest, basically, uh, it is difficult for an investigator to put into custody a person who is legally charged of a crime. Uh, so these basic criminal investigative procedures are very important and they are inseparable. In Ilocano, hindi sila pwedeng mawala ah, during the course of any criminal investigation. And as investigators in the future, these criminal investigative procedures, you must no, you must follow them. You must uphold what is instructed or what is instituted in the procedure. No, because again, let me repeat that as investigator, you are bound, no, by law. No, you are not the one who will make the law. That's why in my recent discussion, uh, as criminal investigators, we must be uh, in the rule of law. No? Rule of law. Okay? So basically, these criminal investigative procedures uh, are supported by laws. So there are laws that govern the implementation of these procedures that investigators may use in order to attain the threefold aims of criminal investigation. Okay, so let us start with the arrest. No? Arrest is a very basic procedure because in almost all crimes or criminal investigation, arrest is very important. No, After locating the suspect, then we have to arrest him. Basically, why there is arrest? No, why you arrest? Basically, we arrest people to uh, put them in custody, to force them, and to give them chance to answer and defend themselves on whatever charge that is given to them. Okay, so basically, as defined here, arrest is the taking of a person into custody so he can answer for the commission of an offense. This is a tool for investigators to put into custody, uh, so that this person have no reason not to answer whatever inquiry that the investigator will ask. And also, it is an opportunity for the person to answer. And likewise, it is for his security. Because if you will not arrest people who committed crimes, then basically vengeance from the victims may happen and they will not be safe. So when we arrest them, we put them in jail and process them so that they will be secured. Why we put them in jail? So that to secure them also. Okay? So, as I said, arrest is mostly present in all course of criminal investigation. Okay? This, as I said a while ago, arrest is a legal procedure. It is a legal procedure because there is a law that defines the procedures that an investigator, an arresting officer should do uh, in order to implement arrest properly. No? So ah, hindi ka pwedeng sumobra or magkulang because those are both illegal. Okay? Yeah. So there are general guidelines as provided by law. In particular, the revised rules of criminal procedure. Diyan mo makikita yung rules of arrest. No? So, all arrests should be made only on the basis, yan yung sinasabi ko sa inyo parati, when shall an arrest be legally made? Kailan pwedeng gawin legally ang isang arrest? We do arrest when there is a valid warrant of arrest. Valid warrant of arrest. Paano nagiging valid ang isang warrant of arrest? When there is the signature of the competent authority, no? The judge himself, no? Naging valid yan. Okay? But are there arrests na pwedeng mangyari kahit there is no warrant? Alam nyo, ang warrant of arrest is a document. It is an order in document. It is a piece of paper issued by a competent authority. Commonly, ang nag-i-issue ng warrant of arrest only is the courts of the Philippines. Hindi pwedeng mag-issue ang police. Even the President of the Philippines cannot issue a warrant of arrest. Only the court. So the issuance of a warrant of arrest is a judicial function. No? Paano ka makakuha ng warrant of arrest? No? Pag meron kang nakuhang evidence, no? Example sa initial investigation mo, meron kang nakuhang evidence identifying this person as a suspect, then you can now apply. So ang warrant of arrest, ina-applyan yan sa korte. No? So ang police or ang investigator, magfa-file yan ng application for a warrant of arrest. No? Then didinggin yan ng korte. Magkakaroon sila sa tinatawag na uh, preliminary examination. Yan ang gagawin ng judge base sa available evidence, no? Na nagsasabi na si Juan, to convince the court that Juan is the one who possibly committed the crime. So, my evidence, then that's the time when there is probable cause, then the judge may issue a warrant of arrest, an order in writing. Yan ang warrant of arrest. No? Commanding a peace officer to bring this person to the court. So alam nyo ang arrest, that is one way to have jurisdiction over the person. Para magkaroon ka ng jurisdiction sa isang tao na inaakusahan sa isang crime, kailangan mo itong arestuhin. So by means of arrest, the court will have jurisdiction over the person. No? Yeah. Then, another that you have to consider is that when you make arrest, there should be no violence. No, you have to maintain what we call maximum tolerance. Yeah, you must exert a reasonable force. Yeah, kung palo lang ang hawak ng inaaresto mo, kung violente. Kasi pag remember this, if the person that you want to arrest is not violent, no, in other words, binibigay na yung sarili niya, then there is no need for any force or violence. Okay? Yan. Yung iba nga, hindi pa nilalagyan ng handcuff. Kasi sa arrest, when you arrest, you restrain him. There is actual restraint. So pag tanongin kayo, paano mo masabi that there is actual restraint over a person to be arrested? The answer is, there is actual restraint by the mere using of handcuff. So sa paggamit ng handcuff, that is already an actual restraint. Ngayon, pag the person refuse to be arrested, then that's the time that you will use necessary and not unnecessary, necessary force. No? Sabi ko nga kanina, pagpalo yung hawak ng arestuhin mo, then no need to use firearm. You will shoot him. That is not equally in terms of force. So you apply your martial arts skills and other strategies. Okay? Yan. Yeah. Pag kailangan mong i-take down ang isang naaresto mo, then yun lang ang gawin mo. Huwag yung tapak-tapakan mo, pabugbugin mo. No? Those are unnecessary force and violence. And no violence. Okay? Yeah. Because, you know, as law enforcers, no, ang heart of law enforcement is the observance of human rights. Okay? Then remember this, as I said a while ago, only judges are authorized to issue a warrant of arrest. No? A warrant of arrest also is no longer needed if the accused is under detention. Remember this, pag ang isang tao na arestuhin, no, is already under detention, nahuli na yan. Of course, example, nahuli na yan, tsamba na nahuli, or nahuli siya on the spot committing a crime, that is warrantless arrest, then no need for a warrant of arrest. No? Ang gawin na lang is mag-issue yung korte ng commitment order para i-detain yung tao na yan sa police station or to a district jail, no, or a city or provincial jail. It depends. Okay? Now, as far as arrest is concerned, so that hindi ka pagtatawanan, you know, in every law, in every rule, there is an exception. In every exception, there is an exception. So, this immune from arrest, may mga tao na hindi mo pwedeng arrestuhin. May mga tao na hindi mo muna pwedeng arrestuhin. So number one, sino yung mga tao na hindi mo muna pwedeng arrestuhin? Muna. Okay? These are the senators or members of the House of Representatives while Congress is in session. Kaya pag may session yung Congress ongoing, andun sa loob yung gusto mong arrestuhin, no? Hindi muna pwedeng pumasok arrestuhin, no? If the offense committed, charge, the punishment of the offense involved is punishable by not more than 6 years. So 6 years maximum, then below. Hindi mo muna pwede. Pag above, pwede. No? Okay? So, that is to give respect to the Congress as a separate institution of the government. Pag natapos ang session, then you can arrest. Okay? Then, itong pangalawa, talagang hindi mo sila pwedeng arestuhin because there is an international law that protects them. And that is also to prevent conflicts between two countries. Kasi ang mga diplomatic agents, katulad ng mga consul, katulad ng mga ambassadors, those ambassadors are representatives of the country. Kaya pag ikulong mo yung isang ambassador or even the president of their country sa atin, for example, then parang kinulong mo na ang buong country na yan o tao sa country na yan. So that may cause World War III. So to prevent that, world leaders before have created an international law that these people must be exempted so that to avoid escalation of conflicts and that may cause war again. Okay? So yan lang. They are immune from arrest. Okay? All right. Oh. Next, methods of arrest. No? Methods. Okay, so let us continue. The next topic is all about the methods of arrest. No? Methods. Paano mo gawin ang arrest? No? Of course, dalawa yan. With warrant of arrest. No? Second is without warrant of arrest. Okay? So sa with warrant, remember this. If the arrest is with warrant, then remember this, if you have a warrant of arrest as a police officer issued by the court, you have only, you have 10 days no, to effect the arrest. No. After 10 days, for example, hindi mo pa na-aresto yung tao. Hindi mo pa na-serve yung warrant of arrest. No? Ano ang gagawin mo? You have another 10 days. Within 10 days, kailangan nakagawa ka na ng explanation mo kung bakit hindi mo na-aresto yung tao. Upon receipt, you have 10 days to implement the arrest. No? After 10 days, hindi mo na-aresto, you have another 10 days given by law to make your explanation before the court. Then within 10 days, kailangang ibalik mo yung warrant of arrest na yan with the explanation sa korte who issued the warrant of arrest. No? So, pagbalik mo ng warrant of arrest sa korte, ang gagawin ng korte naman is to give you or issue an alias warrant. Alias means alias warrant. So yung alias is a copy of the original warrant of arrest issued by you. At yun yung hahawakan mo para pag nakita mo yung taong yan in the future, pwede mo siyang arrestuin. That is why if they ask you, what is the validity of a warrant of arrest? The answer is lifetime. Lifetime in the sense that habang hindi na-aresto yung tao, pwede pa rin siyang ma-aresto in case na siya ay makita. No? Kaya pag magtago ka man, alam nyo, mas masahol pa yung nagtatago ka kaysa sa nakakulong. No? Try to imagine how. Okay? So, but remember this. Okay? We have laws in the Philippines. Meron tayong tinatawag na prescription of crime, prescription of penalty, prescription, no? Expiration. So, example, yung crime is na-discover after 40 years. For example, isagad na natin. Nagtago ka for 40 years for the crime of robbery, no? Nagtago ka. After 40 years, bago ka nakita, pwede ka bang arestuhin at sampahan ng kaso? The answer is no more because nag-prescribe na yung crime. No? Yeah, that is the law prescription of crime. Ibig sabihin, sabi ng batas, kanya nga ron, yung pagtago mo ng 40 years, mas masahol pa kung ikaw sana ay nakakulong. So in other words, parang na-serve mo na yan. No? But again, with the technology today, and with the globalization, may hirapan kang magtago when you committed a crime. Okay? So yan, hindi katulad ng search warrant. Ang search warrant, meron lang siyang 10 days validity upon receipt. After 10 days, no more. Pag hindi mo na-implement yung search warrant after 10 days, then basically, expired na yan. Hindi mo na pwedeng gamitin. Okay? So do not forget that. Then doon naman sa without warrant of arrest, no? Tatlo lang na yan, no? 3 circumstances na inaalaw ng batas. And other, meron palang ibang naidagdag, no? Pero 3 ang pinaka-common, no? Yon is, pag nahuli mo yung tao committing a crime in your presence that is in flagrante delicto, you caught the person in the act of committing crime. Pwede mo siyang arestuhin. Secondly, pag ikaw na police officer, for example, upon arrival at the crime scene, or you have a personal knowledge, no, na itong taong ito siya ang gumawa doon sa krimen. Example, kadi-discover lang yung crime ngayon, at meron kang personal knowledge that ito ang pwedeng suspect, then pwede mong habulin yung taong yan immediately thereafter. No? In other words, immediate, no? 24 hours. Yan. For example, inabol mo yung tao kasi alam mong ito ang pwedeng gumawa. That is what we call hot pursuit operation. No? Hot. Ibig sabihin, hindi cold. Alright? So, pwede mong arestuhin yung tao in hot pursuit operation. Pangatlo, if the person to be arrested is a detainee or a prisoner, no? Yan, or a fugitive from justice. Takas yan sa batas. Ano? Yan yung mga tumatakas. No? Example, yung mga tumatakas sa kulungan, hindi lang naman yung mga nakakulong, kahit yung mga nakadetain, tumakas, or yung mga fugitive na pinag-hahanap ng batas. Okay? Alright. So, ano pa yung pwedeng iba na pwede mo arestuhin kahit walang warrant of arrest? Yung mga iba is mga minor, mga example, those who violated the conditions of their probation. Alam niyo ang probation, iyan ay isang pribilehiyo na binibigay sa isang qualified na tao na hindi mo na iserve yung kanyang sentence at siya ay bibigyan ng chance to prove himself in the community na siya ay magbabago. At pag binayolate na yung mga conditions, pwede siyang arestuhin without warrant. At yun also yung mga nagbabiolate sa condition ng bail nila, no? Yeah. And then yung mga foreigner, no, na after due notice na ito ay mga illegal aliens, then pwede silang arestuhin for deportation. Okay? So, those are some only. Limited lang yung without warrant of arrest. In all other cases, there should be a warrant of arrest. Yeah. Pwede mo bang arestuhin ang tao kahit hindi mo hawak yung warrant of arrest? Pero merong warrant of arrest. Yes. Kung yan ang opportunity to arrest the person, then you have to arrest. Huwag yung sabihin mo, okay, pag mumakapay lang, then I will get the warrant of arrest. No. You have to arrest him. Then pagpunta sa police station, then that's the time that you will read to him the warrant of arrest and inform him of his Miranda rights. Okay? Alright, so yan. Andyan yan. Peace officer, arrest without warrant. Yan. Basahin nyo na lang yan. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Yan. When it comes to bail, Yan. Pag nag-bail ka, hindi ka nag-represent sa korte, pag pinatawa ka, violation of conditional pardon, yan, and probation also. Then arrest, yeah. Then arrest after escape of rescue. If a person is lawfully arrested or rescued. Okay? Pakibasa na yan. Excuse me. All right. So, how to effect an arrest? Paano mo ginagawa ang arrest? Yeah. In general, an arrest is made by an actual restraint of the person to be arrested. Yan, actual. In other words, paano mo ipakita na there is actual restraint? Sabi ko nga, pusasan mo yung tao through handcuff, that is already actual restraint of the person. Okay? So, in other words, dalawa, no? Ang klase ng arrest. Number one, when there is actual restraint, pinuntahan mo yung tao, inaresto mo, pinusasan mo, dinala mo. Yan ang una. Pangalawa, by his voluntary submission. No? Pag alam niyang meron siyang warrant of arrest, for example, nag-submit niya ng sarili niya voluntarily, and that is still considered arrest. And again, both of them, pag merong arrest, there is jurisdiction over the person. Pag meron kang jurisdiction over the person, pwede mo na siyang sampahan, pwede mo na siyang i-question, pwede mo na siyang i-process, so long as you follow the law. Okay? So do not forget. In making an arrest, remember this, use good judgment in connection with the arrest. Okay? So kailangan tignan ninyo yung nangyari sa masa sa pano, no? Counter. Example lang naman yun, no? We are not saying that there is no good judgment. But again, pag may nangyaring patayan, either on the part of the person to be arrested or on the government forces, parehas lang yan. So as much as possible, let us use good judgment in connection with the arrest. No? You can conduct surveillance, casing, reconnaissance before you proceed with the actual arrest para alam mo. So, di ba? Kaya yung mga ibang law enforcers, kailangan maingat yan. No? Kailangan hindi ka pwedeng pakapoy-kapoy, especially ngayon, mga baril. No? Pag ikaw ang naunahan, di tapos ka na. So, kailangan nakahanda parati. Alam mo, you apply the principle of Sanchu. Okay? Sunchuhin mo. Know yourself and your enemy. Alright? Assume that the subject is armed. Yan yung sinasabi natin. To have a good judgment, assume that the subject is armed and will take your life if given an opportunity. So, kailangan mag-ingat. Pero wag namang praning or wag nervyoso. Katulad ng nangyari na tumatakbo lang yung tao, binaril na ng pulis. Hindi pala siya ang suspect. So, you see that, kailangan you have to use your good judgment. Tinatawag nating police discretion. Wise use of one's judgment. Okay. Arrest on the street. So, anong gagawin mo sa arrest sa street? Pag nag-aresto ka sa street, sa mga roads or kalsada or sa open area or sa public area, anong gagawin mo? This should be made from side or rear of the person to be arrested when possible. Yan, patayuin mo yung tao, pumunta ka doon sa kanyang side or sa kanyang likod. Huwag sa harap niya. Baka martial artist yan, sipain ka pa. Subject should be forced toward a building. Yan. Pag may building, you command him, punta ka doon sa wall na yon, yan, tumalikod ka. Avoid congested areas when possible. Yan. Pag nagkagulo yan, maraming madadamay. Okay? Then arrest at home. Anong gagawin mo pag sa home ka mag-arrest? Restrict the subject's movement. Yan. Sabi mo, umupo ka lang dyan. No? Pag kang palakad-lakad o kung saan-saan ka pupunta. Do not grant request for personal privilege kasi pwede siyang tumakas. Okay? Clothing and other things requested should be examined for weapons or items of evidence before turning them over to the subject. All right. Okay, so what are the procedures also in serving a warrant of arrest as a whole? Okay. Yeah. So verify the validity of a warrant of arrest. Importante yan so that hindi ka makasuhan ng unlawful or illegal arrest bilang isang pulis. May mga nangyayari dyan, no? Akala na sila Juan de la Cruz. Maraming Juan de la Cruz. You have to verify the validity. At doon sa validity also, you have to see if that is the warrant of arrest is valid. Now to see there is a paano makita na ito ay valid when there is the signature of the issuing judge. In serving the warrant, the police officer should introduce himself and show proper identification. Kasi sinasabi mo yung introduce yourself. I am Juan de la Cruz. I am police officer or patrolman Juan de la Cruz. Yan, pwede mong ipakita yung badge mo, pwede mong ipakita yung ID mo para yung tao maniwala sa'yo. Hindi yung basta ka nang aaresto kasi especially ngayon marami nang takot ang tao sa police, kailangan you have to introduce yourself. Okay? Make a manifestation of authority. Yan, pag nagsasalita ka, kinokoman mo yung taong arestuhin, kailangan hindi yung parang natatakot ka. So kailangan you have to show authority. Magsimula sa itsura mo, magsimula sa pananalita mo, then you are showing authority. Baka pag siyang hawak ng baril mo, nakatabingi, and you know, sinong maniniwala sa'yo. Okay? So if you refuse entry pag sa bahay, the police officer may break into any residence, office, or building. Yan yung tinatawag na right to break in, and you have also the right to break out. Pag ayaw kang papasukin, pwede mong sirain ang kumpurna, the window, para makapasok ka. O pag pumasok ka, ayaw kang palabasin, then meron kang karapatan to destroy anything for you to go out. Okay? The police officer did not to have a copy of the warrant. Yan, yung sinasabi ko kanina, hindi kailangan meron yung warrant para sa'yo. Pwede mong ipakita after the actual arrest. Okay. Yan. Secure the person to be arrested and use handcuff for the protection of the arresting officer and other individuals or arrested person. Anong purpose ng handcuff? Number 1, to have restraint. Number 2, to protect the arresting officer from any attack from the arrested person. Yeah, hinahangkap yan. Okay? Commonly, saan hinahangkap? Hindi sa harap. Pag hinahangkap yan sa likod. Kasi pag sa harap, meron pa rin comfortable movement ng tao sa likod. Alright. Inform the person to be arrested of his rights under the law. Yung Miranda warning and the anti-torture warning. Yung Miranda warning, tatlo lang yan. Right to be informed of the nature. Sabihin mo, bakit mo siya inaaresto? Anong krimen? Okay? Then secondly, sabihin mo, he has the right to remain silent. Because whatever he says may be used against him. Then, pangatlo, sabihin mo sa kanya, you have the right to have a counsel. So, lahat ng proseso sa investigation after arrest, for example, then he must be assisted by his counsel. Kaya kailangan meron siyang counsel bago umusad ang isang proseso. Pag hindi kayang kumuha ng sariling lawyer ang isang suspect, for example, or a person arrested, then the government is obliged through the police, for example, they should be the one to provide one. They can coordinate sa Integrated Bar of the Philippines or to the Public Attorney's Office. Okay. No unnecessary force shall be applied. Confiscated evidence shall be properly documented following the chain of custody of evidence. Kaya kailangan, pag ikaw yung kumuha ng evidence, una, pag ibigay mo sa iba, sa evidence custodian, pa-receive mo yan. No? Pag-receive ng evidence custodian, for example, kailangan alam mo at dapat nasusunod yung chain of custody. No? Meaning, kailangan i-record mo yung time, sino ang kumuha, paano kinuha, answering the 5 W's and 1 H. Okay? Then, kasi tatanungin yun sa korte. No? Bring the arrested person to the police station for documentation. Yan. Kaya sabi niya doon, what is the responsibility of an arresting officer? the responsibility of an arresting officer after arrest is to bring the arrested person to the nearest police station, or in the absence of police station is jail for documentation. Yan yung tinatawag na booking procedure. Okay? Then make a return of the warrant to the court of origin. Deliver the person to jail or prison upon the issuance of a commitment order. So from the police, pagkatapos mong i-process, pamagshot siya, yan, ma-fingerprint siya, yan, pag natapos na, hintayin mo ang order ng korte kung saan mo pwedeng dalhin, kung sa jail or sa prison, whatever, or sa district jail or sa municipal or city jail. Okay, so those are the general procedures when you are serving a warrant of arrest. Effecting a warrantless arrest command. Okay, so freeze or restrain the person, make proper introduction, secure the person, conduct thorough search for weapons. Kailangan yan. Kaya ito yung pag nag-aaresto tayo, dyan papasok yung search incidental to a lawful arrest. Yan yung pwede kang mag-search and seize kahit wala kang search warrant, because that is search incidental to a lawful arrest. Okay? No unnecessary force. Bring the arrested person to the nearest police station. Duties of the arresting officer. Pakibasa na lang yan. Yeah. Okay? When women or children are among the arrested suspect, the arresting officer shall task the WCPD officer. Yeah. Pag ganyan ang mga involved. In case of arrest without a warrant, it shall be the duty of the arresting officer to inform the person to be arrested of his authority. Then the person arrested with or without warrant shall be immediately brought to the proper police station. Common yan, no? No torture, force, or violence. So yan, you have to remember that, no? Kasi kahit may evidence tayo, pero meron naman tayong violate na force and torture, then wala na. If the person without arrested is without warrant, waives his right under Article 125, then the arresting shall ensure the former to sign a waiver. Yan. So, example, yung right to counsel. Kung gusto mong kahit wala kang counsel as suspect, then pwede mong i-waive yan in writing. No? But of course, with the discretion of the court. Especially pag trial. Okay? If the person arrested waives his right against self-incrimination, chooses to give his statement, the arresting officer shall ensure that the waiver is made in writing. So parating pag-waiver in writing yan, black and white. Okay? Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na booking of arrested suspects. No? Pag dinala sa police station yung inaresto, then dadaan siya sa booking procedure. Yan. So booking of arrested suspect shall be undertaken to record the document or information surrounding the arrest of the suspect. General policy, record the arrest made in the police blotter. Kaya may police blotter tayo. Conduct pat-down, submit the suspect to the medical examination. Take the criminal suspect's personal information. Record information about the suspect. Perform a record search of the suspect's criminal background. Fingerprint and photograph the suspect. Yung photograph yan yung mugshot. Yung hawak niya yung placard. Kanyang kaso. Yan, fingerprinting. Okay? Recording of fingerprint. Then, take custody of any personal property carried by the suspect and to be returned upon the suspect release. Place the suspect in a police station lockup, holding, or local jail. Yan ang tawag sa jail sa police station. Specific functions of arresting officer or AO. Yan. Upon arrest, the arresting officer shall immediately bring the suspect to the police station. Yan ang sinasabi ko kanina. Pakipas na lang yan. Yung function naman ng DO or desk officer, you read that. Upon presentation by the AO, the arrested suspect shall log and record the details of the arrest, answering the 5 W's and 1X. Yan yung desk officer. Ang tawag dyan is Sargento de Mesa in the olden times. The duty investigator, yeah. After examination, the arresting officer shall refer the suspect or the case to the DI or duty investigator. So tingnan niyo yung arresting officer pwedeng iba sa duty investigator. Okay? Mm-hmm. The DI here shall ensure that mugshots or pakibasa na lang itong mga iba. Okay? Yan. The duty investigator shall ensure that mugshots or photographic portrait, or we call it as booking photograph of the suspect, are taken in 4 different methods accordance with the procedure. Kailangan meron siyang mugshot backdrop. Yan. A white tarpaulin, yan yung may height sa likod. No? Then mugshot identification board, yan yung hinahawakan. No? Yan. Pag-ibasa na lang kung ano ang size. Yan. Ayan. Okay? Yan. Okay? Then mugshot is a photograph of the suspect taken after one is arrested. Yan yung mugshot na tinatawag natin. Then the mugshot should be printed in 4R size. Pag-ibasa na lang yan. The DI must always inform the desk officer of the status of the case and the suspect so that updates will be entered in the police blotter. Okay? So, pakibasa na lang yan. The duty investigator shall prepare and turn over a receipt form. The jailer of the station will now take responsibility. So, ang tawag natin sa police na in charge sa jail or yung lock-up jail is a jailer. Okay? Then, this is the booking flowchart. Suspect is arrested. Arresting officer brings the suspect to the police station. The desk officer enters into the blotter the arrest and prepares a request for medical examination. Then arresting officer brings suspect to the government hospital for medical examination. Arresting officer brings back the suspect to the station and accomplishes the arrest and booking forms. Arresting officers refers the suspect to the duty investigator, and the duty investigator assists the preparation of booking forms and taking of 10 prints and mugshot. Yung 10 prints, yan yung 10 na fingerprints natin. Duty investigator turns over the suspect to the duty jailer, and the duty jailer takes custody of the suspect and places them in the lockup jail. All right. So those are the booking flowchart. Next is the booking mugshot backdrop. Yan yung example lang. Okay? Yan, makikita yung height ng tao. Yan. Yan yung position. Second, that is all about arrest. Okay? The next one is raid. And this is also a tool or method that is being used. No? So, raid is a surprise attack to a building or area, I should say. A raid must be legal, having its basis in lawful process and conducted in a legal manner. Yan. Alam niyo ang raid, surprise attack yan na ginagawa ng law enforcement. But of course, commonly, before ka mag-conduct ng raid, kailangan mong surveillance, kailangan mong mag-intelligence operation, kailangan mong mag-investigation, and secondly, kailangan kumuha ka ng coordination. Yan. Then, search warrant or warrant of arrest. Dalawa lang yan. Either you have a search warrant or you have a warrant of arrest or both. Okay? So every member of the law enforcement must know the technique in conducting raids. Raids are usually made after a careful investigation. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina. What is the purpose of raid? To effect an apprehension. Yeah. Obtain evidence of illegal activity and recover stolen property. Condition with the local station commander. It is imperative that immediately before the service of a warrant during raid, the team leader should see to it proper coordination with the commander of the police station that have jurisdiction over the target of premises. Okay. Basic requirement in the conduct of raid. Kailangan gumamit ka ng marked police vehicle and it should be led by a commissioned officer. Yan, a police lieutenant, yan yung pinakamababa. With personnel in proper police uniform. Yan. Use of reasonable force during raid shall be avoided. Yan, okay? Okay. Then don'ts in raid, don't take unnecessary chances. Don't underestimate the ability and courage of the subject. Yan, kasi pag ginawa mo mga yan, pwede kang ma-accident po that part. Pakibasa na lang yan. Yan. Do not touch the evidence unless seen by witnesses or by the owner or the place. Okay. So that is all about raid as one basic criminal investigative procedure. Bakit tayo nagre-raid? Mostly to gather, confiscate evidence, no, or to arrest, no, people. Okay, so for you to arrest, you should have warrant of arrest. All right, so that is all about raid. Then the next topic here is search. Search. So again, when we are talking of search, uh, mostly the target of search are properties, no, or things. Ang arrest naman is tao, yung target. Okay? So this is an examination on an individual's person, house, papers, or effects, or other buildings and premises to discover contrabands or the same evidence of guilt to be used in the prosecution of criminal actions. So ang search talagang ginagawa yan to search for physical evidence. What is search? Search warrant is an order in writing issued in the name of the Philippines. Yan, pakibasa na lang yan. Okay? Mhm. Requisites for application for, ina-applyan din ang search warrant tulad ng warrant of arrest. Okay? Office applying the search warrant, name of the applicant, yan yung mga kailangan gawin mo for you to apply for a search warrant. Where to file a search warrant? It is applied in any court with whose territorial jurisdiction a crime was committed. Okay? Requirement and other significant features of the search warrant. Yan, pakibasa na lang yan. Probable cause required for search warrant. Yan. Okay? Properties that may be objects of search warrant. Yan. Stolen and objects including weapons. Validity of a search warrant. Sabi ko kanina, ang validity ng warrant of arrest is lifetime. Validity of a search warrant is only 10 days upon its issuance. Okay? If in the implementation of a search warrant, so pag ini-implement, at remember this once lang ini-implement. So pag ginamit mo yung search warrant na yan para mag-search ngayon, hindi mo na pwedeng ulitin bukas. Yan ang general rule. Kasi minsan lang pwedeng gamitin ang search warrant. Ngayon, pag ginamit mo ngayon ang search warrant, yan, and you exerted all efforts to find evidence the whole day, no, or how many days, then the search can be continued the following day or days until provided if still within the 10-day validity period of the search warrant. Yeah. So example lang din, ang exception is, example, pag pumasok ka sa isang bahay to conduct search, kulang ang isang araw. Kailangan mo pa ng isang araw, kailangan mo pa ng 3 araw to search the area, especially yung mga malalawak, pag example sa outdoor crime scene sa labas. Pag kailangan mo ng 3 days, pwede mo bang gawin yun? Yes, sabi ng batas. So long as ganun ang rason. No, hindi kaya ng isang araw, kailangan ng 5 days. Basta, remember this, hindi pwedeng sumubra ng 10 days ang extension because ang biyag or buhay ng search warrant is only 10 days. Okay? Ngayon, yung time of search naman, kailan ka pwedeng mag-search or pumasok sa isang office, sa isang building or isang bahay para mag-search ng evidence, ano ang time of search na pwede kang pumasok. The warrant should be served during daytime unless there is a provision in the warrant allowing service of any time of the day or night. Ang warrant of arrest, eh, you know, warrant of arrest is done at any time of the day or night. Ang search warrant naman, sinasabi niya dyan, should be served during daytime. Yan. Kasi alam mo, that is to avoid abuse. Kasi pag gabi, baka there is ninja moves. Okay? Application for search warrant, all applications shall be approved for filing by the Chief of Police. Yeah. Authority of police officers conducting a search. Pakibasa na lang yan. Prohibited acts in the conduct of search. Yeah. Pakibasa na lang yan. Valid search and seizure without search warrant. Ito naman, pag merong warrantless arrest, meron ding warrantless search. So ito ang mga circumstances na pwede kang mag-search kahit there is no warrant of or search warrant. Search made incidental, yan ang sinabi ko kanina. Search of moving vehicles, no? Using plain view doctrine. Okay? Then seizure of evidence in plain view. Then when there is waiver of the right of the accused. Kaya pag ikaw tinanong ka ng pulis, o pwede bang buksan ito, then pumayag ka, then that is a consent. Search under stop and frisk rule. Yan, yung stop and frisk. Okay? Pag meron kang nakita kahina-hinalang itsura, you can caution him, oops, dito ka lang, and I will ask you something. Yan, pwede kang mag-search during emergency. Example, martial law. When there is martial law, for instance, in the military, search, even there is no search warrant. And tipped information. Yan, tipped information. Yan, talagang wala kang magagawa dyan. If there is tipped information, yan, the police officers have reasonable ground to believe based from tip na ito, merong kadalang baril, may nag-tip sa police, it has been reliable, then pwede kang i-search. Okay? So that is all about search. Okay? So I will end my discussion on that. As far as arrest, raid, and search are concerned, let me just say this word from Marley. It is not enough to do good. One must do it the right way. Okay? So yan ang lesson dyan. No? So pag hindi mo ginawang tama yung procedure, then magiging mali ang result. So it is not enough to do good. One must do it in the right way. Okay. Thank you. And that's the end of our discussion for this matter. Okay.